John C. Lilly, he was the guy doing all these weird experiments with dolphins in the, the 50s and 60s, MK Ultra type stuff. And one of his experiences when he was, because there was a movie based on him, he was doing like deprivation tank floats on ketamine and all kinds of crazy stuff. And he had this vision, or I don't know what you want to call it, maybe a channeling or a vision of these different types of entities. One of them was Echo, which is what the Sega Genesis video game Echo the Dolphin was based upon. And the other, he said there was this other like nefarious group of entities that wanted to eliminate the human race. He called them the solid state entity. And he described it as a network of computers. And this is before the internet, right? Like, it's pretty wild. He said it was a network of computers that wanted to multiply and make copies of itself. And they were targeting humanity to deceive, to sort of create this super AI, which, I mean, you could argue is what we're doing right now. And it's interesting because if you look at a lot of the sort of techno-weenie warnings about AI in the future, like, they all kind of come to the same conclusion, but yet we still march down the path. Elon Musk even said something about how AI was going to be more dangerous to humanity than nuclear weapons, and still he is fueling up an AI of his own called Grok, right? I think that comes from Stranger in a Strange Land, the novel, which is kind of a Luciferian tale of sorts. But to bring it back to John Dee, he's the guy who, like you said, he basically made contact with these angelic beings and wrote down the language with which occultists and mankind could speak to these entities. And for me, I think it helps to understand the lineage of what we're talking about for people who are trying to like follow along. You've got the Book of Enoch talking about the Watchers. This is, pre-Noah, pre-flood. They create the Nephilim giants, which is why God flooded the earth to get rid of this sort of abominable race of entities or beings. There's not a lot, at least as far as I'm concerned, there's not a lot of solid, I always joke around, say illuminate, confirm. There's not a lot of solid illuminate, confirm material until you get to John Dee, which is in the 1500s, right? And John Dee is doing these rituals with Edward Kelly and makes contact with these entities.